Hi all, it's Teresa. Well, here we are on another acrylic painting journey. I did this painting recently, and it seems I've been doing a lot of acrylic paintings recently that have portraiture in them. So this is another example, and I've had to make a lot of changes in it along the way. But this painting also has a lot of symbolism in it. How often have you seen a tiger with blue eyes? Tigers usually have yellow amber eyes, and wow, what a surprise. Look at my reaction. But some of the symbolism in this painting points to the fact that I love gemstones, and I've collected so many gemstones as beads and pendants to bead into different types of necklaces. And this is one of my favorites. This is tiger's eye, and it's the brown variation as well as some of the blue tiger's eye in it. And there's also red tiger's eye, and they all have different metaphysical qualities. But I have to say that blue tiger's eye is actually my favorite. You know, I always notice people's eyes, and it really does speak to a lot about themselves, their personalities, and what they're all about, at least in that point of time. And I think you can tell a lot from the eyes. So I'm calling this painting, It's in the Look of the Eyes. So let me show you the journey of this acrylic painting. It had a lot of changes along the way. So because of the frame that I bought at a thrift store, I had to make my own canvas. And I did that by gluing 2 1/4-inch pieces of foam board together, just using white glue. And I did not add any fabric on top of this like I have in the past when I made my own canvas boards. But I did add a piece of poster board right on top of the foam board, and that's what I'm painting on. It gave it a good tooth. So I started out by blocking in the major shapes of the tiger's face and my face. And I got a reference photo online and put it on my phone, as well as a photo I took of myself and put that on my phone. And my main focus at first was to keep the eyes and nose and mouth level between the 2 faces. So I kept jumping back and forth between the tiger's face and my face and getting details in, but always checking them to make sure they were pretty level with each other. But then I noticed that the 2 faces were just way too close. And this painting originated from a really strong image I got in my mind. And in that image, the faces were not this close. So I had to make the decision to white out my entire face and repaint it. I wanted to move it a little to the right. So I started repainting, and at first the face was too straight up and down. So I had to tilt it a little more to emphasize the expression and surprise on my face. So after that, it was just painting in more and more details. Again, jumping back and forth between the tiger's face and my face, and the background that I decided to start putting in, and I wanted to use a green there to pick up the color of my eyes, because my eyes are actually hazel green, but depending on what color I'm wearing or the environment I'm in, they turn blue too. And I wanted to keep a nice balance between lights and darks too. So that's another reason I kept jumping back and forth between the 2 halves of the painting. Also, I exaggerated the eyes quite a bit on both the tiger and myself. And the color of my face is exaggerated too. It's usually not yellow like this, but I wanted it to be yellowish orange to pick up on the orange color of the tiger's coat. And the same with my hair. I made it kind of reddish brown. I was trying to blend in the look of my face and hair with the tiger's face and hair too. Again, this is all symbolic of a personal nature. And I usually don't even paint in the whiskers when I'm painting animals, but I decided that I really had to for this painting because the tiger's face is so close up. But I was happy in the end of how the whiskers looked. And I decided to make the whiskers more elongated on the one side of the tiger, kind of reaching towards me. Again, a lot of personal symbolism here that I'm not going to broadcast here, but I love including symbolism that's only known to me in my paintings. So here's the way it ended up originally. And then my daughter, who's 36 years old, said that he looked a little derpy. So I don't even know how to spell that, and I don't know what it means. But then I decided on my own that he looked a little loco, a little crazy. So I worked on it some more, and I changed the eyes. I made them smaller, a little bluer, and I tried to change the gaze of the eyes. And I think either one would have worked okay, but I'll leave it as is for now. And I've been known to take paintings off the wall and continue painting on them after I live with them for a while. So we'll see what kind of eyes he has next month. But isn't it amazing how small changes to the look of the eyes can really change the look of the painting overall? So I hope you got some good ideas about your own acrylic painting by watching this video. And thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate the viewer support. Bye-bye.